Hello everybody, and welcome to another day of the road to 2K on chess.com. Today we're sitting at 1877, so heading into today's match, we're going to play an 1881 from Indonesia, it looks like. So we're going to start with e4, and our opponent aborts, so we're just going to go ahead, search for another one. I guess we get another person from Indonesia. How cool, 1892. We're going to start with one e4. Our opponent goes ahead, plays e5, so we'll play the Vienna game. And see what our opponent goes for. And today, it looks like we get the Vienna Gambit with knight to f6. The main line is actually d5. Now in this line, this is the Vienna Gambit accepted. This line is actually suboptimal, and I believe the move here is queen to e2, reactivating this attack. The knight goes back. In this situation, you bring the knight to f3 to defend against any nonsense right here. And when this pawn comes out, what I like to do, I believe this is a mistake already, is you play the move knight to d5, attacking the queen. And now our opponent is in a bit of trouble, is they can't move the queen up because then there's this fork. And when they move the queen to the side, we're going to take this pawn with check, which should lose material. So I think our opponent is realizing that they are in a little bit of a sticky situation here. It's one of the reasons that, especially as people are learning how to play chess, you definitely have to be careful about these kinds of moves and these kinds of positions. Now here, my temptation is actually to go ahead and play knight to e5, because there's no checks along the diagonal. And now I'm threatening this pawn, and our opponent can't take for the same reason that we had earlier. And unless I'm completely mistaken, it looks like our opponent is about to lose a ton of material here. So we may be seeing lights pretty quick here on today's game. And honestly, I'll be straight with you guys, it's a later recording for me. I'm definitely not going to be upset with a quicker recording. And sometimes we just need these wins. These quick wins kind of remind me that I'm okay at chess every once in a while. It's been kind of rough go the last few episodes, and just in general playing some online classical, because I have been playing quite poorly, unfortunately. So what is our opponent going to do? So I hope you guys have been enjoying the various recaps and the non-rapid style games that I've been playing recently. I think it really, what I'm trying to do there is show you guys that it takes a ton of work, it takes a ton of effort to kind of work on the journey of chess improvement. Now, is this not checkmate? That looks like checkmate to me. Yeah, d captures c7, checkmate. GG's to our opponent. Let's go ahead, let's look at the game review. We'll call it a quick day. So today, we played with an 87.1, and our opponent played with a 44%, and that just tells me that we didn't find the best way to punish, but we did find some good ways. So after e4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, f4, our opponent made the mistake of going e captures f4 and accepting the Vienna Gambit. The main line here is actually d5, and there's a bunch of ways to play from here, but the main line typically follows. With this transformation of structure, there's queen to f3, knight to f3, d3, a few different moves here that you can play. Now these are the three main moves, but really all are playable. Instead, our opponent took. So after e5, most of the time what we see is we see knight to g8, and then we follow up with knight to f3. Sometimes they will go here. A lot of times here I like to kind of follow up with d4, defending the center pawn. However, what happened in the game is our opponent opted to play queen to e7, which is immediately wrong. The move here is queen to e2, breaking this pin, reactivating this threat here. After knight to g8, like I said, knight to f3 I guess is not technically the correct move. My guess is d4 is a slightly better move just to go ahead. I don't love this position because of this check. And I guess after this check, we can probably get away with a move like, my guess is, well, queen f2 apparently is wrong. I can't imagine possibly that g3 is correct. It's king to d1. Now, I don't want to lose castling rights. That's just me. So even though it's not technically the best move, I think knight to f3 is the more practical move. After our opponent plays d6, which we have actually learned this on a previous day, knight to d5 is the correct move, where now we attack the queen and we threaten this fork here. Our opponent moved to the side. So what I opted to do here is I decided to take the pawn with check. Our opponent can't block. Well, they technically can, but at that point we would probably play, in this position, I'm thinking knight captures. E7 is a little bit better. D captures E7 doesn't work quite as well because then we drop this knight and this pawn is kind of stuck. We could also technically go for queen takes, but once again, actually we couldn't go for queen takes. That's a pretty silly idea. But our opponent plays king to d8. We play knight to e5, which is apparently slightly wrong. I don't know what the best move is here, actually. Maybe knight captures. c7 seems slightly wrong. Is it d4? I don't know what to tell you guys. So if we look at the engine says the best way to punish this is actually just to play d captures c7 first, and that forces the queen to take, at which point we would take it off and play from this position. However, knight to e5, our opponent plays queen to e8. What I was expecting is that they maybe move their queen out to f5 and go for something from here. However, what they did was they brought their queen back to e8, back to the starting square. Kind of a funny position because all their pieces are back on the starting squares. And d capture c7 is simply check and mate. So thank you everyone for watching. If you have comments on how I play, definitely leave it on down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. And then finally, check below and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And that'll just help you to make sure that you don't miss any of my future content. And on that note, I will see you guys on the next episode.